70 years ago, there was an abrupt turning point in human history. The humans entered a new era marked by two dramatic changes. The first was the beginning of the nuclear age, an age in which we have acquired the capacity to destroy ourselves. The second was a new geological epoch, which geologists call the Anthropocene, in which human activity is radically changing the conditions for life on Earth, humans and other life. And we're now reaching a point in this new era in which we must face questions that have never arisen in human history, literally questions of survival of human society, organized human society. The questions are urgent, they can't be deferred.
This course has a very general, some might even say vague title. What is politics? We deliberately chose a course title that would provide us as much latitude as possible to cover as wide a range of relevant topics as our time together as a class will allow. We invite you to join us for an unusual course at a unique moment. We begin with a discussion of how we come to understand the world around us, including the kinds of influences that shape our perspectives, and the ways in which certain worldviews become the taken for granted common sense. We then turn to one of the most dominant and pervasive taken for granted principles now in play, that the economy and society should be organized through the tenets of industrial state capitalism, and that alternatives to that form of social, political, economic, and cultural organization are largely unthinkable, or quite literally, nonsensical. From there, we take 3 weeks to examine some of the most pertinent consequences of adopting this form of political economic organization, beginning with a series of threats to humanity as a species, and continuing on to the realities for people around the globe in their everyday lives. Finally, we turn to the reactions and resistances that follow on from these effects, and look at various forms of activism, from the voting booth to the street, from the classroom to the internet, and beyond.
The purpose of this course is to engage participants in contemplating, exploring these critical issues. The goal is not only to enrich understanding, but also to sharpen the skills to inquire more deeply and productively into such questions. That includes critical issues about the nature of education, about formation of opinion and attitudes, and not least, they will have to seek answers that are desperately needed and to think through ways of implementing them. These questions are critical for all of us, people of my age, people coming of age. It's this generation, that our generation, mine, that's created many of the problems. The new generation is tasked with facing them and addressing them. The class is actually going to explore the most important questions that have ever arisen in human history. It's important to understand that. These are literally questions of survival, of organized human society, of our children, our grandchildren, are questions that cannot be deferred.
It is only when students are motivated to learn that real education takes place, and we think that the questions this course will raise will stimulate students to want to push their own boundaries and expectations. Under those circumstances, the relationship between students and teachers begins to be transformed into a mutual and meaningful exchange of knowledge and ideas. We hope this will be the case with our course and invite you to join us in the spring.